What's going on, gamers? He's back, and I've been waiting. I am so happy to do a Dreamcast guy video. It's been a while, but how is he back? Do not buy the Xbox handheld. ROG Ally X has a huge problem. Oh yeah, guys, the Xbox is dead stuff, and the Xbox stuff, it's back. Are we ready to get into this? Like, comment, subscribe. Here we go. Not too much talking at the beginning, but let's get right into this. This is funny.
Hey there, gamers. DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about the new Xbox handheld, the ROG Ally X, because this is a very strange project. It actually comes out now in less than a month, but Xbox themselves still isn't talking about how much it actually costs. But somebody has now leaked the price. It's $1,000. Well, it's $900, and I wanted to do a video today talking about why, specifically, I think it is important not to buy this. And it's not just anti-Xbox. It's not just Xbox got no games. I wanted to sort of break down why I do believe the next generation of console warring isn't going to be Nintendo versus Microsoft versus Sony. It's not even going to be PC versus console. I do think the next console war that is going to be kicking off here in the next 2 years is going to be the handheld wars. And I have to admit that I'm actually excited about this. And it's for most
Dreamcast guy, how do you think that's even possible when that market is 97% owned by Nintendo? You're not coming in there to threaten them. Sony has a way better chance in the console space. Now, will they come in and outsell every other handheld behind them? Sure, but Nintendo already drove them out, and they came back because their stuff was successful and everybody else was doing it. I don't see that being a console war like you think, because there's nothing to compete with it with its own dedicated market and own video games. They've been doing that for 40. Dude, it's not happening. Yeah, no. The next competition is going to be digital stream cloud. You know what I'm saying? Massive publishing competition, making more money competition.
mostly the reason that, in a lot of ways, I do think that handheld gaming is making a big comeback. Obviously, this is in very large part because of the overwhelming success of the Nintendo Switch. The fact that this thing sold 160 million units, billions and billions of dollars in games. I think it got a lot of people that were non-gamers back into gaming. But a lot of companies now are basically saying, okay, how can we replicate that? How can we make our own tiny...
It doesn't work that way. They've been doing it their whole life and have been successful. You can't just jump in there at the end game and think that all of a sudden you're just going to be right there next to them. That's totally immature. And I don't know why people ever thought that would even be possible to begin with. It's not going to happen. And that's not why other people are stepping into the handhelds. Like, Microsoft's coming in to just extend and branch in on the PC market and have people more access with their ecosystem for the whole cloud sync and play anywhere. But it's just suicide to think that they would just come in and compete with Nintendo. Like, that's never going to happen. Nobody can. Sony had the closest chance during those times when they had their dedicated market. You had to buy that device and have dedicated games for it to compete. To an extent, obviously they had to have a lot of third-party games to get carried, but they're not going to do that with this. This will be closer to a handheld outside of the Nintendo world and the console world more than anything else. But do you think it's going to have its own dedicated games and all that? No, it'll just be an awesome handheld, which I think it could possibly be the PlayStation 6 handheld. But I don't see anything being a Switch competitor. No, I think they're all going to be over expensive.
Any playable gadget, something you can pick up and play for as cheap as possible and want to buy our games, right? Well, I'm specifically annoyed about the fact that I honestly think that the ROG Ally X, it's teaching us all the wrong lessons. The power of handheld gaming isn't necessarily having the craziest screen. It's not about having the craziest graphics. It's about the games. And honestly, it's about that price point. But let me break.
That's very true when it comes to handheld. That should be even more entry cheap than a console. No handheld should be more expensive than a console unless it's having insane specs, which we see that today. But once again, the purpose that Nintendo created that phenomenon, which they were successful on and have sold 100 million plus on handhelds numerous times, has never been to focus on power and has never been to focus on anything other than great video games and affordability. I mean, that was points where it's like, damn, $99 to get this. And games were $20, you know what I mean? And they were better than other games. And it had nothing to do with graphics. Roblox is dominating the planet. I told people the best looking games of all time, or the best games of all time, have nothing to do with graphics. You look at stuff like League of Legends, Tetris, Mario, Pokemon, you know what I mean? They're not graphically oriented games. These top selling games and playing games, Minecraft, you know what I'm saying? Had nothing to do with that. World of Warcraft, even in its prime, all these biggest games, Fortnite, they're all cartoon animated. They're not focused on graphics. So that's a secret to the industry that I think a lot of people didn't understand. If you're having fun and having a good time in those split and anime worlds, you're not really going anywhere. And that's what gaming is about. 70 to 80% of people do not really care about specs like we do and all that type of stuff. They just want to play the game and get the experience, and Nintendo knows that. And they give them really good video games, and they consistently have done that for years on end. So in the handheld world, to the handheld community, they're used to that for the last 3.5 decades, even when Sony came in. So you can't come in any other way to the handheld-minded community. This is what people don't understand. You can't project the Xbox mentality onto the handheld community that has been dominated by Nintendo for 3+ decades. Same thing with PlayStation, and same thing with PC that has those little wannabe Switch devices. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not beating it down. But I see people say dumb stuff. I'm like, your world exists because of them. Once again, you're the type that gets something from the master, coats it, and then disrespects them. I just don't like that mindset because I think it's stupid. And they're the ones that made that world like that. So if you want to be successful in the handheld world, obviously I would look to those that have been the pinnacle of it and own like 90% of it because they know what they're doing.
Take it down. Hi, hope you're having a great day. And if you could please, I am DreamcastGuy. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So, this is so wild. I saw this a couple days ago, and I've actually just kept this open because I kept just waiting to see some sort of update from Xbox where they're doing a countdown for a device that legitimately doesn't have a price point, that doesn't have pre-orders. 1 month. When's the last time you saw a device that was this advertised that didn't have some ability to at least look into it, right? We really don't know.
I'm going to have to agree with him on that. That's very unprofessional. Like I said, things Microsoft do, they confuse the market. There's times where I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? This doesn't make any sense. And then like knowing that this thing costs $900, but I heard there were some aspects where the Series S was on par with it. That's embarrassing, knowing that the Switch is $449 and it's in the Series S's face and close to it on a lot of games. But you're charging $900 for that? And it kind of has a limited launch. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this either, but I wouldn't tell somebody to not go buy it though. Like I'm not going to tell you what you shouldn't or should buy. But what I recommend, no, of course not. I don't think many people will. And honestly, I don't see this selling that much. It'll have its initial spike and it'll drop down. But for that base that has it, just like the bases that have the allies before this version and the Lenovo's and the Steam Decks, I mean, they matter. So, but it's just going to be a niche market. So this will not sell like the Steam Deck even, but it's going to be a nice option. So just keep people's expectations in check. I think it will just end up being that 900 price point or somewhere close to that. And with tax, yeah, you're getting close to $1,000.
Anything about this yet. And even Brad Sams, this guy's actually a big Xbox leaker, said Microsoft seems to be promoting this far heavier than any of their previous third-party devices. Curious what the arrangement is behind the scenes. Now, keep in mind, there was originally a lot of rumblings that there was going to be two separate styles of an Xbox handheld. This one, which is technically not being made by Xbox, it's licensed by Xbox. They went to this company, ROG, and said, hey, make us a portable, super-powered PC. We'll slap some Xbox stuff on it, right? But separately, there was going to be a thing called Project Keenan. There was supposed to actually be an Xbox Series S with a screen that you could pick up and play on.
Would have been a huge mistake, and it would have had problems, and they didn't know what they were doing. They did the right thing by going this method first so you can learn. Telling you, definitely when nobody wants to buy your hardware on anything right now with the Series S and X not selling, you're better off trying that on a fresh generation with a fresh feeling. Trying that now is bad. Definitely the Switch 2 coming out would have been suicide. Why? You don't have no games around. Like, they did the right thing by doing this. Even though I don't agree with this method really with the price point, but this is still a smarter route to try and learn rather than thinking that you're going to arrogantly be successful in the handheld market when your hardware is just not appealing to anyone worldwide to buy at a mass scale. So it's just a smart move. It is. You know what I mean? It's not being down. This is just saying don't make that stupid business move. And I'm pretty sure Satya felt the same way.
The go with Game Pass, with all your native Xbox games, it was basically legitimately an Xbox who could play on the go. But
Sure.
apparently, for some mysterious reason, they canceled that. So this
They're going full
is
PC.
technically the only portable Xbox that may ever exist, at least for a while yet. But what do you see? What are the replies, right? Do I need an Xbox to play? Nope, this is an Xbox. I'm so excited. But people are being like, where's the pre-order? Stay tuned. Where's the pre-order? Stay tuned. The clock is ticking. This is obviously ROG themselves. So let's talk about that leaked price point. Somebody at Best Buy is currently setting up the displays. This has been verified now by multiple people, but apparently this is the price of the ROG Ally X. It is $900 for the more beefy version and about $550 for the slightly lower quality version. Now, my reason for making this video, again, is not just saying, oh, if you buy this, you're a bad person. Oh, this is just a hunk of junk. I do think that from the specs they've released and stuff, this is a pretty beefy piece of tech. Honestly, the graphics of it are going to be pretty decent, but I almost feel like the lesson we're taking from gaming right now is this arms race of power that I just feel like people don't want anymore. Like, maybe I'm
True, because everything is looking good now. And like I said, it's the point to where everybody feels like it's good enough. Most of the like casual gamers and just regular gamers outside of this hardcore perspective that we do over here, and we get everything, you know, hardcorely 100% accurate, know all the details and everything. They just want to pick up the game and play. And the Switch 2 is really what they really want. For people who are really only in the PC world, if they do get that optional device, they will grab a Steam Deck or whatnot, a Steam Deck 2. But that community is very niche compared to a community that has 100 and something million people yearly. And all of them can play handheld mode. So that's why I said, if you just think about historically the handheld world, the handheld community does not like over expensive handhelds. It's not the way it's not the way it's been. It's not the way it's ever will be, I don't think. All these people come in are people who are telling me from Westerners, I want to make one of these Switches and put my stuff on there on the screen, but I'm not adding any like video games to it, and then jack up the price and add more technology to it. But they're not really, it's not hardware innovation, and it's not attractive to the large. Most people do not give a damn. They're gonna just get the Switch 2. And they're right. I mean, that's the right thing, because that's a whole bunch of games that you can only get there. You see, they're interested in the games and in the handheld experience that's entry. Everything else is now being ridiculous. So, I mean, DreamcastGuy's right about that. That's not something that, you know, to really like fight against. It's just an understanding that that's why those other ones didn't sell. Dude, I've seen the regular Ally go down to like $389 or like whatever at Best Buy on sale. Nobody touched it because they don't want it. They like their laptop and their desktop. 90-some% of gamers, PC gamers.
I'm so disconnected, but I feel like I play so many games. I love so many games. I've seen crazy indies and big AAA and little weird pixel art, and all of it I feel like that gets an audience. People love it for the game itself and not necessarily, oh, it's 4K 120 FPS, right? Let's talk about the success of the...
That's taking the PC mentality and the power console mentality between PlayStation and Xbox and reflecting it onto the handheld community. Not going to work. Remember, guys, when I said this, I'm telling you, and I do not want anything to fail or anything, but what I'm telling you is have your expectations in check for this Xbox Raw coming around the corner, because I'm telling you it's not going to sell like you think. When have it spiked, then it's just going to fall right off the earth. And sitting around with all those other ones that people are going to ignore. Now, for those of you that are going to get it and enjoy it, please enjoy it, but I'm just trying to give you guys the truth so you don't think that it's going to do something insane and then be disappointed. And you might as well face the truth right now. It is not going to sell that well. And they know that. I called it a while ago and I said it's just going to be a luxurious product for hardcore enthusiasts and for players who are in the Xbox world. They want to have the idea of saying, I got some PlayStation games on an Xbox collaborated device, or if you want to call it an Xbox and have that idea, it's for that and for people in the Xbox world. Otherwise, people who are in the PC world already have what they want. That to them is irrelevant. And people who are in the Switch world, they only want a Nintendo. People in the PlayStation world, they want a PlayStation Portable. So the majority of the gaming community does not care, except the Xbox only community. And the people who want to back it up like me, you know what I mean? I care that you guys are going to get that, and if you're going to enjoy it, that matters, you know what I mean? So I make this content to tell you guys the truth, and then we do some coverage like I did with that one coverage with the Lenovo Legion Go. I just like new tech comparisons in general. So it's not about beating down anything. It's just about, yeah, you're right. That's reality. I'm not going to be fake with y'all about it. I'm just going to be like, it's not going to sell that well. So, but for people to do get it, enjoy it. You know what I mean? And if I got sent one, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take it. You know what I mean? But I don't want to get one though. Like if Microsoft wanted to send me one, I'm like, okay, I'll review it or whatever. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get one because I have what I need. But I hope it does well. We'll see.
Best handheld that's sort of outside the mainstream, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch 2, these are big old beefy boys. But what has been the biggest independent success? Probably the Steam Deck. But even this has only sold a couple million units. This has sold roughly 3.5 million units. Now, personally, I'm obsessed with my Steam Deck. A lot of people are. The fact that you can just instantly dock it, it instantly carries cloud saves back and forth. You can emulate games on this. It can play literally anything. You can mod it, you can customize it. This is fantastic. But honestly, the graphics on the Steam Deck, not that insane. If you actually look at the top played games on Steam Deck, usually it's stuff like Hades, it's Slay the Spire, it's Vampire Survivors. It's games that are really, really fun, that have cool soundtracks, that have a lot of stuff that people enjoy, but at the same time, they're not these crazy graphical pushers. I think that companies are still trying to think about basically handhelds in the way they think about PC gaming, or thinking about it in the way they think of the PlayStation 5. I would love to know the numbers of the PlayStation 5 Pro, how much they've sold of the PlayStation 5 Pro, because as much as I enjoy my Pro, I don't think it's been this overwhelming, crazy gangbuster.
Most people are going to just want the entry of this. Like I said, they're going to ignore it. As for enthusiasts, same thing when the Xbox One X came out. Microsoft's like, no, not this time. We're not even selling it. It's not going to sell. Smart move. Phil Spencer was right. You didn't need to do that. And they did the right thing by going the route that they did, because that's what's going to work best for Microsoft.
Success. I think a lot of people that are buying PlayStations are buying it for the third party, because I mean, let's face it, there isn't a lot of first party PlayStation the last couple of years other than like Concord, and a lot of people buying stuff. It's, hey, I want to play Final Fantasy 14 online with my friends. Hey, I want to play the new Resident Evil in the best graphics possible. Hey, I want to actually experience games on my system that's easy, it auto updates, it's got controllers that configure perfectly. That to me, that's the console experience. But these prices, making this more expensive than even a PS5 Pro, this seems like not only will this obviously flop, I feel like it's teaching this very insane lesson. It feels like the industry is trying to tell us everything is going to keep going up. You will be priced out. Look at this.
They're making it an elite luxury society.
Double the price of a digital PS5 is laughable. $900 in the United States, then it'll be $1,200 equivalent in third world countries. The ROG design is sleek, but I wonder if the performance boost justifies the price jump from the original ROG Ally they released a couple years ago.
You got the money.
This is my thing, is that even Xbox, I truly don't think they care about this. Xbox's big problem: AAA publishers don't care about Xbox Play Anywhere. So here is how this works. The new Xbox handheld does not actually play Xbox games. It doesn't play old Xbox games. It doesn't have some built-in emulator that lets you play.
It does, but through the cloud.
Play Xbox One and Xbox 360 the way the Series X does.
It's pretty limited, yeah.
This is only a Windows handheld with the new big screen mode they have right here, right? Full screen experience. People have basically already got firmware that runs on the ROG Ally X. They've gotten it to run on other ROG Allies. So really, anything that makes this particularly special can basically be ported. But my thing is the fact that what's really weird about this is that the original premise was, oh, anything that's Xbox Play Anywhere, you buy it on your Xbox, you can play it on your phone or on your PC, or you can play it on your ROG Ally X. But nobody's doing that. Nobody's really pitching in. In a lot of ways, not only is the Xbox handheld just an even worse version of the Steam Deck, it just feels like a giant answer to a question no one's asking, which is, what if we had a much more expensive, much more downgraded, much worse battery life, much more clunky version of a Steam Deck? This thing, when I bought it, this is the middle of the range version, I think. This one cost me $400. Then I spent some money on a better drive for it. I bought a dock. I bought some controllers. I probably spent $550, close to $600 on this. And I've put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into this thing. The idea that the basic model of this, if you're just trying to buy an Xbox thing, this is going to cost you $550 for even the bad version of the ROG Ally. This to me seems like, honestly, such a catastrophic failure. So let me help you Xbox gamers out. When you buy a game on your Xbox Series X, let's say GTA 6, it won't work on your ROG Ally X because it's actually a PC handheld and not an Xbox handheld. You might want to ask your favorite Xbox content creator why they didn't tell you this. So
No, he's right though, because they're not going to do Play Anywhere and it's not coming to PC. You're not going to be able to play that. You have to have a console for that until it comes to PC. That's a good statement. That's something to think about. Because if you're not getting Play Anywhere and you're investing into the Series X and you go there and it's not there, you're going to have to wait on it, or it may not come, or you're going to have to buy the game again. This is something to seriously think about that I told people about before, but I think we get the idea because we already talked about that. So now we know why Dreamcast Guy is saying do not buy the Xbox handheld. That's his way of saying it. I'm not going to tell people what they should or shouldn't buy. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm not going to go out of my way saying that. So yeah, there's obviously some problems, and we're going to find out more things over time. So let me know what you guys think. All right. Peace out. Have a great day. You know what we got to do. Ponies, sit down. Later, y'all.